Have you ever found yourself repeating that song that you got in your head and you just don't know why it's there, or something reminds you of something and you're like, oh, it just comes out? Or you find yourself repeating the same types of words and sayings for all different kinds of situations? Well, in this video, I want to go over why you are what you speak. So I know you've probably heard the saying, you are what you eat. And a lot of people say that because of the fact that what we eat makes up our body. So if you're eating veggies, you're going to get a lot of nutrients. You're going to get a lot of good things going in your body. If you're eating fat, you're going to get a lot of fat growth in your body. If you're eating junk foods, you're going to have a lot of junk and a lot of chemicals in your body. So that's what it means when people say you are what you eat. Now, what do I mean by you are what you speak? Well, if you're someone who speaks curses, then you are a curse to not only yourself, but to those around you and to somebody else. If you speak positivity, you are positive in bringing positivity to yourself and those around you. If you speak negatively, you are bringing negativity and negative energy and negative things to yourself. You're attracting it. If you, I suffer with this a little bit. If you speak in a doubtful or in a worried tone, if you're constantly, if every time somebody asks you a question and it leads into, I think, I don't know, I hope, think, don't know, hope, those type of things. Those are doubtful terms. So you're going to bring doubt into your life, and you're going to bring doubt into others around you. So this is what I mean by when I say you are what you speak. So just take a quick look at yourself and think about, what am I saying on a day-to-day basis? Become more conscious of the words that you're using and the things that you're saying. And one thing that I want to touch on, so let's kind of go back real quick to you are what you eat, right? But sometimes what you eat was fed to you. Okay? So you are what you eat. So sometimes, though, you got a family. Okay? And this is dad. Give him a little hat so you know that's dad. This is mom. Give her some nice hair. Okay? These the babies. Okay? Get out the way. So you are what you eat, but sometimes you don't control what you eat. Okay? So let's say daddy loves McDonald's. Okay? So the kids are going to naturally eat McDonald's. If daddy loves McDonald's, I mean, what are you going to do? They're going to naturally eat McDonald's, right? So if they want to eat it or not, they're going to eat it. That's what they're going to eat. Let's say mommy loves broccoli. Okay? If mommy loves broccoli, the kids are going to naturally want to eat broccoli, right? They may not like it, they might not want to eat the greens, but they're somehow broccoli is going to get in their diet. They're going to be eating it at least once a week, a couple, depending on how often mommy gets the broccoli, cooks the broccoli. Now, daddy doesn't like broccoli. Daddy don't like broccoli. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a fight here for feeding the kids McDonald's and feeding the kids broccoli. And there's going to be a disconnect here because one wants them to eat McDonald's because he loves it. The other one wants them to eat broccoli because she loves it. Now, how can we turn this into you are what you speak? Check this out. Kind of a similar scenario. Okay. And the kids. Similar scenario. Mommy, daddy, and the kids, okay? Let's say daddy curses a lot. Okay, daddy uses bad words all the time. You know, daddy uses bad words all the time. And let's say mommy, she doesn't use bad words, but she's not really tripping on it. It's not a big deal, right? You are what you speak. If these kids constantly hear daddy speaking bad words, just like they're constantly eating the McDonald's, they're making this a part of who they are. Have you ever gone into a neighborhood and just on the corner, just in the subtle talk, you hear kids cursing? This is why. The kids didn't grow up with curse words coming when they came out the womb. There's somebody in their circle of influence that's above them that is feeding that to them. Okay? So they are a curse now because they've been fed the curse, you know. Now, I'm not saying that speaking curses is going to ruin your life. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you are what you speak. So these kids now are going to grow up one day and then they're going to feed it to their kids. And not only that, they're going to feed it to their colleagues, their friends. And now that curse is on them. Okay. Now, this goes even deeper. That's on a very basic level. Okay. When I found out about this, you are what you speak, it blew my mind because it made me think about on a deeper level now. So let's go on a deeper level. You are what you speak. It showed me that I got to become conscious of everything that I hear, because if I hear it enough and it becomes in my subconscious, my automatic mind, I'm going to become that. I'm going to start speaking that into existence. Okay? It's like a newborn. You could take a baby and drop them anywhere in the world, and wherever that baby lands, that's the language they're going to speak. That's they become that. Okay? So how does this work on even a deeper level? I feel like when you become a teenager, this becomes super influential, because a lot of during that time you're trying to find yourself. You're trying to fit into some group of people, whether it's sports or music, or the way that you dress, or the way you talk, or this group of people who does cooking, this group of people who does whatever your hobby is, and how they talk, and maybe you want to be from the country, maybe you want to be from the city, and the way you speak has to fit because that's who you are or who you want to be. But let me show you one way that you are what you speak, and how the influence of others make you become. So one big way, and one of the most influential ways I feel that people become what they speak, is through music. So I'm African American, if you if you didn't already know, and I was raised in a very hip hop urban culture. So in hip hop urban culture, there are certain things that are, in a sense, normals. We're talking about a broad sense. Everything has their niche. Everything is, but in a broad sense of the hip hop culture, there are certain things that you become by hearing constantly. So one of those things that's very common in hip hop culture is money. They constantly talk about money, constantly drugs, constantly talk about sex, constantly talk about violence, constantly talk about what's the word I'm looking for? Infidelity. Excuse my spelling if that's wrong. So let's say you constantly listen to, you can really put the top 10 hip hop artists in this circle, and I promise you they're talking about this stuff here. I promise you that. Pick your favorite. I challenge you right now. Pick one of your favorite artists, top 10, that's in hip hop. And if you can't check 80% of these boxes, if you pick any song, if you can't check 3 out of these 5, put it in the comments. I promise you, 3 out of these 5 is in there. So what does this mean for you though? You are what you speak. If you're constantly, you're this person, if you're constantly getting fed this in your brain, okay, and it's flowing through here and it's gonna come out of your mouth, you're constantly getting fed money, drugs, sex, violence, and infidelity, what are you gonna become? Okay, the money, maybe it's not that bad, okay. We all need money, we all need a sense of value. But you don't really need the drugs, you don't need the sex, you don't need the violence, you don't need the infidelity. Okay? The sex, if you got your partner, sure, not too bad. I'm not nothing against that. I'm procreation. But you don't need the drugs, the violence, and the infidelity. But it all comes with it. And you become that. Have you ever noticed that what kind of music people listen to is the way they look in their physical sense? They literally become that. Have you noticed that? And there's 2 main genres of music or lifestyle that encompass this. One is hip hop. So right now in hip hop, you know, the dreadlocks. And I was this. I had dreadlocks, you know. Why did I have dreadlocks? Because I love Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was my favorite artist. You know, he was my favorite artist for a very long time. And but this is before I became conscious of this fact that you are what you speak. Because I found myself reciting lyrics that I heard in my favorite songs, and every other word was me cursing. Every other word was me cheating. Every other word was me killing someone. And I was unconscious to this at that time. But it got to the point, as now I am an adult and I'm older, that I saw that I had became Lil Wayne. I wasn't him in of course I'm not him. I wasn't him physically, but I was him physically in a sense, because I spoke that into I became this. And if you look at hip hop right now in the culture, not everybody, a lot of people are this. They have become this character. They have become this archetype. This is not fair, but I feel like when I look at someone, I can tell within a minute what they're into, what they like, what they're buying, where their values are, based off how they look. And I know that's not fair. You shouldn't judge, like Jim Rohn said, you shouldn't judge people by how they look. People shouldn't judge you by how you look, but they do. Why? Because it tells a lot of information about you. Now, some people are unconscious to this, and this is actually very attractive to a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. But why is it attractive? Because the person that's attracted assumes that this person is into that thing, is into hip hop and the culture, and, you know, got some fresh kicks on, you know. But there's another genre that's, I feel, has this same thing. And it's not an issue, it's not a problem. I don't have anything against culture. But what I'm saying is, if you find yourself not getting the results that you want, and you're speaking into existence things that you don't want, that's counterproductive to where you want to go, you have to wake up to this. This is why I stopped listening to music. I had to stop listening to music, because all the music I was listening to was money, sex, drugs, violence, and money. You know, money, sex, drugs, violence. That's the script. Like Wayne said, I memorized the lines because life is a movie that I've seen too many times. You know, so he knows the script. Wayne is, don't get me wrong, if I were to meet him in person, I feel like we can have a deep conversation on just life and understanding, because I feel that he's an artist, so he understands this. He's a grown man, he understands this, and it's just the culture. It is what it is, you know. But I'm here to tell you, if you're in your life, in your home, he's set. He's set. He's got multi-millions. He is set. He can do anything he want to do. But if you are stuck in your life and you're looking to make a change and you're having this constant fight and you find yourself being constantly distracted by big booty girls because your whole life you've been listening to music that told you that's what you should be attracted to, and you're constantly distracted and bombarded because every time you get your check you feel you got to go buy a new pair of Jordans because this is where your value is, and you're constantly distracted because you're constantly finding everybody around you cursing and you're trying to stop cursing, but it's just so you're just bombarded and you don't realize. But then the music that you're listening to is screaming out curse words. It's counter. You're gonna have to cut it. You're gonna have to escape culture. So you are what you speak. You have to start speaking different things. To start speaking different things, you got to start feeding yourself different things. Okay. So let me get to the other culture that I feel you can obviously see it. Now, this culture I don't know too much about. I'm not going to act like I do, you know, but I'm pretty sure you can instantly tell. Well, you might not be able to instantly tell, but you can kind of tell what culture this is. You know, you can kind of instantly tell. And this is a bad drawing. This is my stick figure drawing. But maybe you can tell what culture this is. Maybe you can't. You know, draw some little like skull things. This is supposed to be a goth person, okay? Gothic. I'm not gonna say I know too much about goth. I'm not gonna act like I know the music, the culture. I don't even think I could name one goth artist. So I'm not saying anything disrespectful about it. But what I am saying is you can see it. Like when you it's so strong in the message that's being portrayed that it becomes out. And you are that now. So whoever is feeding this person, whatever they're feeding this person through their speech is showing right here on the outside. And I'm not saying you don't want to be this person. You may be very happy as this person. I'm not taking that away from you, but it took me a very long time to bring the association of what you speak becomes who you are. What you speak becomes who you are, and what you speak is outsourced. It comes from another source first. You don't. It doesn't come from you first. It comes from somewhere else first. This is why you got to change what you're saying, and to change what you're saying, you got to change who you're around and what you're constantly hearing. Sorry, let me turn that off. So, you are what you speak. So, what are some things that you can do to help if, let's say, you want to start speaking different things? You want to start doing different things. You want to start changing maybe some bad habits, you know. First, you need to identify it. You have to identify the fact that, let's say you want to stop cursing, okay? You have to find out in yourself, you have to look in the mirror and break it and find out which one of these pieces, how do these pieces connect to why I curse so much? Maybe it's someone around you. If you want to stop cursing, here's a little trick. Become conscious of all the curse words you hear and source where they're coming from. So just in your day, if you want to stop cursing, this is just an example. Find out where you're hearing it. Where is it coming from? And you need to exit out. Just straight up, you need to exit out. If you're listening to music with curse words, you need to stop listening to music with curse words, period. If you're around someone who's constantly cursing, that's going to be a bigger problem for you. And like I said in the previous video, if you're younger or you're someone who is not responsible for your own life in the sense of you're in an environment, and a lot of people are in this situation, you're in an environment where you don't have control over it. First thing, just become conscious of it. Become conscious of it, and that way it'll help you at least. Because I promise you, there's a lot of people in this world that are unconscious. There are a lot of people in this world that are unconscious. What do I mean by unconscious? I mean that they don't believe this. They think they think all this stuff is a bunch of hoopla. They're unconscious to the fact that this is real. And this really plays a huge effect on our results within ourselves, our personal development, our growth, our relationships with people, everything. But some people just don't believe this. Like they think it's like made up or something. Like there's no like, where's the scientific data showing this is true? You know, it's true. Okay, I've experienced it in my life personally. Like I said, I come from a hip hop background, and to escape that culture, I'm still battling with it. I still find myself reciting lyric to songs I haven't heard in years because of a certain scenario that plays out in my life that reminds me of it. That's how deep the programming is. You know, the reason why a song gets stuck in your head is because it's sung to you. It's a rhythm, it's a melody that's easy to remember. That's why the succubus, that's why the siren was so strong, because it's the melody that draws you in. You know, you become like in a trance, and the next thing you know, you're dancing, you're singing, and you're in their control. And like I said, it may not be nothing wrong with that if that's okay with you. But if you're trying to get out of that, then you need to wake up to the fact that you are what you speak. So I hope this video helped you out a little bit today. I do want to go further into this in another video. I just don't want to get too long-winded. But if you do like this content, please like and subscribe. This is Stephen Loss Jr., your entrepreneur friend. And yeah, have a good one out there. And like I say, be conscious to what you're saying.